Hello, everybody. Welcome to our open seminar, Art of Social Innovators. As participants are joining in on Zoom, and as we are also settling in here in Kathmandu, I want to share with you one practical element, the fact that this is being recorded. So if you do not wish your image to be recorded or your name to appear, feel free to turn off the camera and also use a nickname for your participation. In this way, we respect the GDPR provisions. We are very excited here, and we would like to start our open seminar in the spirit of non-formal education, circular economy, and entrepreneurship. We would like to invite you to sit down, open your hearts, your ears, your souls, and enjoy. Volare, Om, cantare, Om.
바람이 분다, 바람이 분다. 연평 앞바다에 얼싸좋다 바람 부는다.
하이 투라이 슈투라이, 하이 투라이 슈투라이.
วันเพ็ญเดือน12น้ำก็นองเต็มตลิ่งพวกเราทั้งหลายชายหญิงสนุกกันทิ้งกันลอยกระทง Listen piriri, listen piriri, listen piriri, listen piriri, listen piriri.
Thank you. You can clap, you can clap. Namaste and thank you. Please join us. And as we were mentioning, we wanted to start our seminar with something that goes not only to our minds, but also to our hearts. And also with a symbolic exercise and experience that combined the circular economy practices. As you may see, all our instruments were made out of natural materials or materials that we found around. Entrepreneurship, because this was one of our first activities, and perhaps in years to come, we will invite you to our concert if we manage to make an orchestra. And of course, non-formal education. It was an exercise through which we have learned about all these principles. Now, to start the official or a bit more formal, but still informal open seminar, my name is Andrea Tanase, and we would like all of us to welcome you to the world, and not only the world, but also the art of social innovators. I will have the pleasure to facilitate today's open seminar. And this open seminar is happening here in
Kathmandu.
I feel here in Kathmandu, Nepal, physically and virtually, actually all around the world. We would like to welcome all our guests who are joining from different parts of the world and are following on Zoom. The Art of Social Innovators is an Erasmus Plus project funded by the EU under capacity building for youth in ACP countries, Latin America and Asia. We would like to say hello, and with this to thank our guests and speakers for today. So I will invite them to say hi, and then I will invite you to repeat the greeting. We will say hi in your language or any language that you may.
And Thailand. Sawadee.
Sawadee ka.
Hello everybody, I'm from Nepal and our greeting goes Hardik Namaskar.
Hi.
So I'm from Italia, and we say ciao.
Ciao. I'm from Romania, and often we also say ciao, but today I want to say salut.
Salut. Bună, still from Romania.
Bună.
Bună.
Buongiorno a tutti, Italia.
Buongiorno a tutti.
Bună ziua tuturor, România.
Bună ziua tuturor.
Okay, so we hope you remember this. This was a mixer and intercultural experience. But what is going to happen today in the coming hours? We are going to share the history of our project, Art of Social Innovators. We are going to look at some of the concepts that all of us here were working and studying throughout the project. And the most juicy part will be the one where each one of us will share a particular experience related to the topics of today's open seminar. So with this being said, I will invite Dan here next to me, the manager of this project, and who's very seriously going to present how this project came about and what were the main elements that made this happen.
Hello, Andrea. Thank you very much for the word. My name is Dan. I'm the project manager of Art of Social Innovators project, as Andrea said, founded by the European Union Erasmus Plus program under the capacity building action. So I would like to give you a background to our project. Our project started in 2019, so it's a project that's spread over 3 years now, and it's still continuing till the end of this year. And the aim of our project is to develop social innovation and circular economy as a means for inclusion, active citizenship, solidarity, employability, and entrepreneurship among youth facing fewer opportunities and youth workers that are working with this youth from both continents, Europe and Asia. The objectives of our project are quite vast. We have 5 objectives. The first one is to promote non-formal education methods that are aimed to cultivate the spirit of social innovation, sustainability, and circular economy. Our second objective is to capacitate the youth workers to use these non-formal education methods developed, and therefore we developed some short instructional video clips. Our third objective is to empower the young people to change their attitudes and to take action and engage in social entrepreneurship and circular economy activities. Therefore, we have organized numerous local activities in all the countries participating in the project. The fourth objective of our project is to increase the international cooperation at the level of youth organizations. So basically, we are aiming to create a network of organizations that are empowering youth with fewer opportunities in the field of circular economy and social entrepreneurship. Last but not least, one of our objectives is to create an online web platform that helps young people and youth workers to access our resources. And this platform is already created. You can see the link below. So, mentioning the aim and the objectives, I would like to move on to the implementation of our project to tell you what has been done so far and what is going to happen in the future. So in January 2020, we have met in Romania for the very first activity, the kickoff meeting, and there the managers from all the partner organizations reunited, and we planned ahead the unfolding of the project. Immediately after the kickoff, we have had the seminar, and the seminar reunited youth workers from the 6 partner organizations. And during this seminar, we focused on the thematic side of our project, on the learning aspects. We have planned the local workshops, the youth exchange, the training course, and all the other important activities that that followed. We have a bit disturbed by the recent pandemic, COVID-19, and therefore we decided with our partners to conduct the local youth workshops in our partner countries. And we started to do that because, of course, during quarantine we couldn't physically meet. So after the local activities and after a long time in which our project was put on a hold, in the month of January this year, we have met in the training course called Art in Innovation in Thailand. And this training course reunited 15 youth workers from the partner countries. And during this training course, we have put together the curriculum for this concept training course that was used by our partners in their communities in working with young people facing fewer opportunities. Parallelly with the training course in Thailand, we had also a job shadowing where 4 participants from Romania visited the Phuket region of Thailand and explored the circular economy and social entrepreneurship opportunities in this region in a partnership with VSA Thailand. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I was one of these 4 youth workers. So the next activity is the activity that unfolds now in Nepal. It's a youth exchange that reunites 30 young people and group leaders from Nepal, Korea, Thailand, Romania, and Italy. And the aim of this youth exchange is to test the methods and to get feedback and insight from the young people on the methods we promote in the field of circular economy and social entrepreneurship. And parallelly with the youth exchange, we have the seminar for youth, YOUnnovate. And basically the open seminar that you are attending right now live is one activity within the big seminar for youth that unfolds in Nepal, Kathmandu between 17 and 22 April this year. After this seminar will be over, we will continue with a virtual evaluation meeting that will be online between May. We're going to do the final web platform adjustments also in the month of May. And we are going to have the final activity of our project, the meeting in Sardinia, Italy, by the end of June 2022. 2022, yes. So this was the framework of our project. I would like to tell you a little bit about the outputs and the outcomes of it. So as outputs, I would like to mention the project web platform, the format training course that we developed during the training course in Thailand, the ebook, the main intellectual output of our project, A lot of visibility materials such as t-shirts, bracelets, banners, printed ebooks that you have in front of you for those of you who are live here in the room. We have the open seminar recordings, we have the video tutorials, we have promotional videos, local activities, and newsletters. On the outcomes, I would like to highlight just two of them, the main important: the increased competences of youth workers to use non-formal educational methods to empower youth facing fewer opportunities, especially from rural areas, on working in the field of social entrepreneurship and circular economy. Another outcome of our project, a very important one, I consider to be the developed positive attitudes among youth workers and youth facing fewer opportunities towards intercultural understanding and international cooperation. So just to conclude, I would like to highlight that even though this project is maybe not the best example of green project, since we travel so much from one continent to another, for sure it is a good practice case in empowering youth workers and youth to explore the realms of social entrepreneurship and circular economy, and even more to develop positive attitudes towards intercultural learning and towards reaching their full potential. Thank you so much.
I will share with you now, hopefully the internet will let me, some of the videos that were filmed back then in Romania, the welcome videos.
Haideți să aflăm mai multe detalii despre economia circulară în perioada seminarului ce va avea loc în România, așa că alături de proiectului nostru Art of Social Innovators.
สวัสดีครับยินดีต้อนรับสู่ประเทศไทยกับโครงการนวัตกรรมเพื่อสังคมนะครับภายใต้ความร่วมมือของ5ประเทศก็คือโรมาเนียอิตาลีเนปาลเกาหลีใต้และก็ประเทศไทยโดยภายใต้ความสนับสนุนของสหภาพยุโรปนะครับก็คือErasmus Plus โปรแกรมนะครับโดยประเทศไทยจะเป็นเจ้าภาพจัดอบรมนักนวัตกรรมเพื่อสังคมในเดือนมีนาคม 2563 นะครับและก็อีกโครงการหนึ่งก็คือโครงการศึกษาดูงานในเดือนกุมภาพันธ์ปี 2564 นะครับยินดีต้อนรับเยาวชนนานาชาติสู่ประเทศไทยในดินแดนสายลมแสงแดดชายหาดและรอยยิ้มสวัสดีครับ
आउनुहोस् तपाईको इच्छा अनुभव हामी एकअर्का बीच साटसाट गर्दै सामाजिक उद्यमशीलता मार्फत विश्वलाई परिवर्तन गर्ने बाटोमा अग्रसर बनाऊ Visit Nepal 2020 and have lifetime experience.
한국에 오시는 것을 환영합니다. 더 나은 세상에서는 에라스무스 플러스 Art of Social Innovators 프로젝트를 통해 5개국의 사회혁신 사례를 공유하려고 합니다. 한국에서 사회혁신과 한류를 modu 경험하세요. 우리는 당신을 기다리고 있습니다. 와!
Inoltre, svolgeremo le attività locali in tutti i paesi partner. Alla fine, avremo la valutazione finale in Italia. Ci vediamo presto. Ciao!
Okay, so this was one of the very first videos that were made back in Romania in the first meeting. We were thinking then that already that year we would see each other, or at least some would see each other again in all these different countries. That's why you heard welcome to, was it in Nepal 2020? Well, it's welcome to Nepal 2022 with even perhaps more joy and more eagerness to engage. Dan, would you like to share also another video from Thailand?
So yeah, I can share with you the most recent video from our project, the video of the training course that took place in Thailand in January 2022. So enjoy.
Share with computer sound. Can you hear? Just stop sharing and share again. Click here, share with sound. Sorry, and share.
My mistake, Sorina.
It is about competencies. Okay, so this, did you recognize anybody in the room there? Yes, yeah. Because we were telling about all these activities, but I think for those of us who participated in them, the ones that were even more interesting were the ones that we really took part. The project became real, not after we read the objectives, but after we have participated. So with this, for all of you who are now implementing activities here, but also for all of you at home, we are trying to provide a little bit of an experience of what does it mean to be part of this project. Now, we will skip a bit the theory part, but we will share with you. So please follow the website where you find very interesting insights on the theories. What is circular economy? What is social entrepreneurship? There are resources that we really invite you to access, such as Ellen MacArthur Foundation for Circular Economy and the European Commission the Erasmus Plus project puts a lot of emphasis in this period on projects that stimulate entrepreneurship. One of the things that actually we would like everybody in this project to do, we dream that this will happen, is for them to become more active, to start making, I don't know if music or a social enterprise or more projects like this, but this is something really that we hope that will happen. We come now in our project with the experiences section. So basically everybody here came with a very heavy luggage, but not necessarily the luggage that was put in the airplane, but the luggage that came in their hearts and their minds. So the first experience that we will share with you is the experience of combining mathematics, music, economics. So more will be from our conductor here. Andrea, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrea. Okay. Yes. So I'm Andrea Lucarelli. I'm from Rome, Italy. And it's with a big pleasure that I'm here discussing with you the theme of circular economy, which is one of the main themes of this seminar, from my own perspective, since I am both a physicist from Sapienza University and musician from Santa Cecilia Conservatory. Both institutions are in Rome, Italy, and also teaching this stuff, physics at engineering faculties, sustainable building engineering faculties, medicine, musical, acoustic, piano, and so on. So it's like my field of interest. So I would like to discuss with you the theme of circular economy from my own perspective. So giving you an insight of what I felt and what I thought about this, starting from the fact that actually our economy model is more like a linear model. Can you see this line going through from left to right? Take, make, dispose of model. You take, you make things, you use them, and you throw them away. But with such a model, you know, for example, can you see that graph? The ratio of plastic to fish in the ocean by weight becomes from the ratio of 1 bottle of plastic with respect to 5 animals in the ocean, with respect to, this was in 2014, instead in 2050 was major than 1, so the plastic contribution with respect to the animal contents. So the quantity of waste is increasing. Of course, we are trying to find some solutions, for example, renewable resources, reusing material and so on, but probably this is not enough because we would like to change radically. I call this slide a new geometry for economy. So it's just changing, rethinking, redesign our thinking about economy. So from a linear vision to a circular vision, like the circle we were playing at the beginning, no, with the Tibetan instrument. So what does it mean, circular? This perfect shape, no, round shape. You start from a point, you get to the same point again. Circular economy concept is based on 3 main ingredients: eliminate waste, circulation of products and material, regeneration of nature. And according to this model, which is actually we copy a lot from nature. Nature is our inspiration as a model, is a measure, is a mentor, is our inspiration for our new model of economy. So if you think of a ecosystem, you can think that all the elements, all the participants of the ecosystems are well organized. Food supplies, water supplies, and everything is conceived such in a way there is no loss of energy. So this is nature. This came naturally. Why don't we copy from this? We would like to do a new technological cycle, not just to use the materials and devices, but to return them and to reuse them. So the idea is that the new devices must be made up of components in such a way that can be reused after their life. So for example, polymers, metals should continue their life beyond their first use. And this is also connected to a new idea of ownership. Now we own things. This computer, this device is mine. Okay, and after I used it, I throw it away. No, I would like to don't own things, but license from their original manufacturers. And moreover, this process, we can't do it by ourselves. It's not, circular economy is not just you do circular economy by yourself, but you do it in team. So a key word is cooperation. Circular economy can work just if you are a lot of people working on this new circular way of thinking. And to summarize this concept, we often use this model, this diagram. It's called butterfly diagram. Can you see the butterfly on the right? Also because the shape of the diagram is like the one of a butterfly. On the left side, the green wing of the butterfly, you saw the regenerative cycle of biological material. And on the other right wing, you can see the same process from the point of view of technical materials. So we would like to copy the way nature works and to adopt this kind of reuse materials and no loss of energy also in our technical economical process. Now, since I was studying something else, I would like to give my own insight to economics from the point of view of a theoretical physicist. And since I've been studying different things, but I think this theoretical framework can be useful for us to understand what economics works, I would like to introduce the concept of complex and disordered systems. What is a complex system? Is a system made up of many components that can interact together, and the last result is quite given by the cooperation and interaction of all the elements. So another key word is disorder. When we interact as a group made of many elements, we have disorder phenomena. And this applies to different issues, biological, cells, networks, like our interaction on Instagram, our interaction on internet. How do we connect each other? This happens with some probabilities. Maybe if I'm a friend of you, I have more probability to get another friend in the same chain and so on. This also works for finance networks, for example, probability of how to share money in one direction or another. Neural networks, you start from the single neurons. Each neuron is just a biological cell, but when you put 1,000 and 1,000 and 1,000 neurons together, you give, we have new phenomena emerging. We think, we can create, we can memorize things, and this is not because of the single neuron, but because of the interaction of all the neurons within themselves. So can you see all that pictures has this element in common, which is called graph. A graph is a very mathematical abstract object. It's just a structure made of vertices and edges. But as you can see, this geometrical object can apply to different things. For example, metabolic networks, or food webs, how food supplies are developed, or internet networks, social network, or again, trading networks, financial networks, and so on. So graphs are a very general structure that can apply to how to deal with economics and other elements. So I'd like to go a bit further on how we can try to measure things in economics. And so for this purpose, I would like to introduce the concept of economic complexity. Can you see here, you have two in the slide, to the top, specialization, to the bottom, diversification. This is how economy work. And what we actually learn from biological system is that diversification, so having different, for economics is having different products, is a sign of long-term stability. So when we study how products and countries develop, can you see this diagram here? You have like this triangular shape, and measuring similar aspects in biological systems. So for example, in a forest, in the jungle and so on, how animal interacts between each other, how plants interact between each other, we have the same structure. So this triangular structure, this is another element that we have to mimic from nature to study our models. And so, technically speaking, we try to introduce a measure for this, and we introduce two parameters, fitness and complexity. As you can see from the lectures, not going to the detail, but if you see the fitness, which is with the F, in the formula you have the Q, so which is complexity, and in the Q formula, which is complexity, you have the F, which is fitness. So the two parameters are related between each other. And what we want to do in this research in our next future is to apply these models to the concept not only of economics but to circular economics. So there is much work to be done on this theme, and is one of the purposes of this kind of research. Moreover,
probably applying to circularity, I think it's that element of systems thinking. So complexity, we need to start thinking about complexity, one key message is, and we need to start thinking that perhaps specialization is not the most sustainable way, but diversification. These are perhaps two messages that we can get already from your presentation without going straight into a PhD.
Exactly. Like the idea was like a tree and a forest. If you look at the interest of the tree, it's not like the interest of the forest. So we have to consider our system as a whole, as a complexity, and so the interest of each one can work for the interest, for the whole interest. So thank you, Andrea. And another experience I'd like to share with you is the fact that I'm teaching. I have been teaching since a few years in the Faculty of Sustainable Building Engineering, which is another aspect of how we can develop sustainability. So Sustainable Building Engineering at Sapienza University in Rome, it's not only gaining skills in civil and architectural engineering skills, but above all, develop a special sensitivity in the environmental protection, reusing materials. So this is what we try to, this is the message we would like to deliver to our students. Can you see this flower coming up? So it's just the idea of lowering the energy demand, taking advantage of our natural resources, reusing materials so that we can extend their lifetimes, and adopting sustainable attitudes, even for a single building or for the whole cities. And last but not least, since I've been studying piano and composition, I was here all of a sudden and said, why don't we make this strange experiment in the seminar, and we try to use all the material we have here in this area, in the kitchen, in the grass and stuff. So we first saw a video of this orchestra, which is a very special one. It's called Recycled Orchestra. It actually is an orchestra in Paraguay, in a village called Cateura. And I was reading that was not much to do there, apart from a big landfill with a lot of waste. So we were children playing in the landfill, not so much work. And this guy, Fabio Chavez, who is an environmental engineer with a background in music, he said, why don't we collect some guys of the village, and we tried to teach them some music. So to do some music together. And the fact was that they were starting working with the materials of the landfill to make their own instruments. So for example, violins made of cans, spoons, forks, or cellos, you know, these instruments you can play, but with cooking utensils, or a heel of women's shoes, or drum hands, and so on. So what it came out, can you see this beautiful picture? So guys playing these instruments, and they could record some music, not only like the research we made today, but also like classical music. They play some Mozart, for example, with these instruments. So not only a research on circular economy, but also a very big research in non-formal education. And the fact is that they developed a real orchestra. They were called to play in Spain, Madrid, and other places. The slogan of the orchestra: the world sends us garbage and we send back music. This is a very nice idea about how to reuse energy, like in the circular economy philosophy. And here, can you see this picture, strange picture? When we were asked to build up something, we had like 1 hour for this. So I call this like the fast 1 hour recycle orchestra in Nepal 2022. And you can see me and all the other components of the group from different countries. It was very nice because in a very short time we arranged this strange concept, and maybe we can develop further, who knows. So I would like to thank you all for your attention. And maybe before we finish this part of the seminar, I want to show you like the rehearsal. If you
perhaps we will conclude at the end. We started with music and we will end with music. So let's give a hand for Andrea.
Thank you.
And for those of you who scientists, so for everybody, thank you very much, and for all of us was very insightful, no matter from what background we come. We keep your questions, you can ask them on the chat of the Zoom, but also here we will have a Q&A session a bit later. We are going to travel now from well, I was going to say Italy, but you also expressed experiences from Paraguay and from Nepal. But anyhow, we stay in Nepal. Yeah. And I will invite Kewal, one of our hosts here, to share with us the experiences that your organization, and everybody who organized our wonderful stay here want to share with us in the open seminar. Kewal, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Andrea. Okay, hello and namaste everybody. My name is Kewal Shrestha. I work at ION, that's Association of Youth Organizations Nepal. And today I would like to share with you some of the work that we've done on social entrepreneurship with youths of Nepal. It's not changing. Okay. Before we start, I would like to provide you with some context regarding social entrepreneurship and circular economy in Nepal. Policy-wise, most of our efforts regarding sustainability and climate change is addressed by the National Climate Change Policy of 2019. One of its key objectives is to promote green economy by adopting the concept of low carbon emission and its development. It also has provisions for development and use of climate-friendly, traditional, and nature-based technologies. This is a key point here because sometimes progress means not just looking forward, but also looking back at the things we did right. The policy also highlights adaptation and mitigation measures and also details the roles of local governments on what they can do. The Environmental Protection Act of 2019 mostly has to do with regulating construction bodies who are responsible for construction of roads and bridges. So, it mandates studies like EIA and SHUTS. In terms of entrepreneurship, we have the 4 laws that you see there. It has provisions for entrepreneurship, but social entrepreneurship is the keyword that is missing. We also have various public employment programs run by the government. Primarily the Prime Minister's Employment Fund. The fund goes to the local governments so that they can use those budget to employ labor that are mainly used and use it to develop their infrastructure. So nothing in the lines of entrepreneurship as such. The National Youth Council also runs its very own employment program. So they train young aspiring entrepreneurs, and they also provide them with small seed money so that they can get their startups off the ground. I think it's fair to say, though, that civil society has been taking the lead in terms of social entrepreneurship in Nepal. In terms of the general population, the total population of Nepal stands at over 30 million, according to the recent census that was conducted just a few months ago. Youth, that the National Youth Policy defines as the age between 16 and 40. Amongst the total population, over 40% of the total population are youth. So quite a big chunk of the population. 400,000 youths enter the labor market every year, and the unemployment rate stands at 4.7%. So as you can already guess, because of the unemployment, labor migration tends to be very high in Nepal. The data shows that, between the 9-year period, the number of labor approvals issued by the Ministry of Labor, Employment and Social Security is very, very significant. You can also notice that in the chart, you see the remittance, the money that the people send back when they're working abroad. It makes up for about 22 to 25% of the national GDP. So quite a big amount there too. So you can probably make out that, there's a big scope in the Nepalese domestic market for job creation and entrepreneurship. But we're not able to meet that need right now. ION has been working towards youth agendas, various youth agendas, and entrepreneurship and job creation is at our topmost priority of the work that we do. One of the implementations that we've been carrying out is called Youth Collab. What Youth Collab does is we gather youth from all over Nepal who have a certain business aspirations. They have a certain business idea. We teach them, we mentor them on how to market those ideas into a viable business. We partnered with various partners for this Youth Collab, mainly Unit Social Business Center. So as well as promoting business, we are also focusing on the social impact that the business can have. So the gentleman you see here, his name is Biplav Singh. His company is called Aero Roots Future Farming. What his company does is he uses aeroponics. Aeroponics is a technology that was developed by NASA. What it does is it grows plants with very little water or nutrients or fertilizer. So it reduces waste overall, and it's a viable option to make sure that you can grow produce without much wastage. He has developed his business into quite a viable business, I would say. This is Revive. As you can see in the picture, they're a upcycling company. So a pair of pants can become a bag, a purse, maybe a keychain. So they make use of old clothes that would normally go straight to the landfill and make useful products out of it. I think they're doing pretty well as well. This here is SMBP diapers. It's made out of old clothes, and every material that goes into these diapers are biodegradable. So very reduce waste significantly. So these are some of the initiatives that are going on in and around Nepal. Some being supported by youth agencies such as us, but some are being led by youth themselves through their own aspirations for sustainability. What you can see here is that they've turned trash into some useful products. So transforming various components so that they don't just go to waste. So the important question is, what is missing? Well, I think it's also made obvious by the concepts that we've been discussing regarding circular economy that we need to move beyond the traditional ideas of reduce, reuse, and recycle. You can only reduce your consumption so much, right? So you need certain stuff. You can't really ask people to buy fewer stuff. It goes against everything, it goes against the human desire to have more stuff. Same goes for reuse. A certain product has only a certain life cycle, and you can only use it so much. And recycle, it has its own drawbacks. I mean, the product has a certain recycling life cycle, and after it wears out, there are also leakages to consider. So that's where the ideas and principles of circular economy come in. When you design a product so that every component, they are sourced ethically, the energy that goes into our through renewables and not just from fossil fuel. when you build that in, not just because you have to, but by design, you go beyond a certain threshold and you make sure that the things that you make and things that you use are sustainable in the long term. So what can we do? Well, we can do advocacy. ION, one of its mainstream work is advocacy. So we need to engage governments to make sure that they make policies from the supply side, so that every production that comes out of our factories and of our labor are sustainable. As I pointed out before, Nepal's policy has missed a very detailed principle regarding circular economy. So we can advocate for that. We can also work for demand generation and awareness. We can talk to people and make sure that people understand and have a change of perception that decisions are made not just based on financial incentive, but also because it makes sense environmental wise or sustainability wise. And we can also partner with the private entities. We are all in the same boat, so our common future is what we all should strive for, and I think the private institution would also agree with that. That is the end of our slide. So we've looked at the various forms of interventions that we are currently doing, and we've also realized that we've missed a certain mark. When the work we did previously, we realized that we were a bit narrow, short-sighted, and a bit narrow-minded. So when you look at the system as a whole, you find various components. You look at individual products that you're using, and you deconstruct it, and you try to think about where it comes from, how you use it, and what you do with it after you use it. So if you look at it with the whole systems perspective, maybe we hope that soon we can have a change of a collective conscious as a whole. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, both for the very interesting examples about entrepreneurship. It was very nice to learn about the NASA technique that perhaps can be used. It generates more questions and also for the recommendations that you gave in terms of what we can do, because probably this is very, very important for each and every one of us to think, okay, what's my take? What can I do? Whether I'm a young person, a youth worker, or an entrepreneur. So thank you very much. Please keep in mind the questions. We will take them a little bit later, but now we travel from Nepal to Romania. And here Andrea will share with us actually an initiative that was born also during the pandemic. I think the dream was there for longer, but the pandemic and the local activities from our project actually contributed to what Andrea is going to tell us. Andrea, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Andrea. Let me share my presentation. So, as Andrea mentioned, I am Andrea. I'm from Romania, from Iarcuriaciuc, a small town in Transylvania. And I'm here as a group leader, part of the youth exchange that is taking place now in Nepal, on the topic of circular economy, social entrepreneurship, and non-formal education, of course. So as the previous speakers mentioned, in the project Art of Social Innovators, we had some local activities. And of course, as Dan mentioned, our project was kind of disrupted by the pandemic. So we had to rethink all the local activities. And we came up with the idea to create a virtual hub, which took the form of Facebook group, let's say, where we shared ideas, new innovative insights, together with young people, group leaders, youth leaders, and basically people interested in these topics. And our example of social entrepreneurship is related to sports.
because during the pandemic, we were a lot of times inside our homes. We couldn't get out as much as we wanted. And we tried to figure out some ways in which we can do sports outside in the safest way possible. So we figured out that we can do some sports, but why? Because it boosts the body condition as well as the mind and spirit. It facilitates the social interaction, even at the in this kind of context, in small groups, and it gives us a sense of belonging to a team or to a community. It is an excellent tool for education, especially in non-formal education, and it can be an excellent means for social enterprises. So here we did some kayak expeditions in small groups, as I said, 3 to 4 people, not less, because it's not safe to go alone in a kayak trip. Even in groups, it may be dangerous. As you can see here, the river was quite floated, and it came up with some challenges. Here we are in Bucharest, kayaking a lake nearby, as well as here, and here in Danube Delta. And after all these expeditions, we thought that we had to exploit all these experiences that we gather, and how could we use all this in our work. So youth work, non-formal education, social entrepreneurship. And we came up with the idea to create a sport club. And we did that. We, together with some friends, we put the basis of a sport club, which is called Arao. We funded, this is the logo, it runs, it has almost 1 year now, and it's part of the initiatives from this project. As Andrea mentioned, the idea was there, but we didn't know exactly how to exploit it. But now, as part of the virtual hub with all the input from the partners, we initiated this club. And we thought how we could raise some funds, because, you know, as a new organization, it's quite difficult. And having the experience of this project, we thought that we should maybe try to write some applications and, of course, connect it to the project ideas, to the aim of the sport club. And we managed to have one project application approved. And this is called Non-Formal Learning by Sport. It's, of course, related to non-formal education. In this project, we will involve 48 young people from Romania, Hungary, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic to learn about archery, hiking, and sport biking. The project will take place in Romania. And then we also have another project approved. It didn't start it yet, but this is about developing mobile application that will promote hiking among young people from our communities. And why to develop a mobile application? Because during the pandemic, we figured out that this digital component is very important to be used in youth work, and more we have to be connected to the digital world. So we have to mingle between sports that we'll do in real life, and the digital world. So this is the example I wanted to share with you, and I hope you found some inspiration. And from the participants here, if you would like to, I don't know, maybe have a similar initiative, I am here. Maybe if you want to, if you have questions, I might try to answer them. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Andrea. And indeed, her call, if you may be inspired, is really real, because from all these projects, you can take part in many. But when you really create something of your own, there is a really great feeling. And also, as somebody from the background, it's nice to see how you connected many things that perhaps you experienced in previous projects into this one. Project writing, hiking, ICT, and so on. What was the topic of Andrea's entrepreneurial initiative? What was the theme? Let's see. Now we're checking also with our audience. What was the theme? Well-being through sports. Let's give a clap because we have at least one person who was listening. And because I have the bad habit of changing things in the middle of things, and because it's a long seminar, we still have some very interesting experience. And let's make sure the blood is in our head. So please stand up. And do you know how to count to 16? Yes? Okay. So we will count to 16 and do an energizer. You know, when our hand goes up and if you shake it, the blood goes down and perhaps it gets also into our brain. So we will count 16 with the right hand, 16 with the left, 16 we will tap with our foot on the floor, right foot, left foot. Then we go from 16 to 8. Then from 8 to 4. Then from 4 to 2. And then 1. Yeah, ready? Ready? Let's do it the Nepali way. Ready? Yes. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hey! And this because it is about theory, but also a little bit of practice. We heard mathematics, we put in practice mathematics, sports. But I'm wondering now, what will be next? What else will we put in practice after we hear TUM, which is the code name for Laksana? Please, the floor is yours. Tell us more about your experience and the Thai experience.
My name is Laksana Rodtrakul from VSA, Thailand, Volunteer Spirit Association. But most of Thai people got a nickname that different from your full name. So you also can call me Tum. So I'm going to present you about the International Voluntary Service as a non-formal education tool for capacity building and community development. New normal. This word is coming up this day during the coronavirus outbreak. People have changed their behavior to prevent themselves from COVID-19, so the normal life become new normal. For example, wearing a mask, using alcohol and cleaning their hand more often, keep social distancing, and avoid going out in public, so they do more online things like meeting or shopping. After this situation, people would do new normal to protect themselves from the illness, doing more online and visual activity. For the International Voluntary Service Network and Movement, we also start new normal called Visual Camp. So the volunteer can share their participants from their home with people worldwide. To support our sustainable goals for our sustainable world, we should have more idea and do more action on new normal for circular economy, social entrepreneurship, and non-formal education on our IVS movement. So from now on, I'm going to use the word IVS for International Voluntary Service. VSA Thailand Volunteer Spirit Association is a non-formal education organization in Thailand. We coordinate international voluntary projects for people of all ages, cultures, religions, and economic backgrounds. We believe that international volunteer service is a gateway to be a global citizen. VSA is a network member of international called Coordinating Committee for International Voluntary Service, CCIVS. And also we are partner network of Alliance of European Voluntary Service Organization. So we could hold international volunteer from around the world to do the project in Thailand, and we also could train our young people around the world for the IVS project. Every year we host about 400 international volunteers in our project. For incoming international volunteer in Thailand, we host around 200. Most of them are from Europe, Asia, and America. And for outgoing volunteer, we send around 60 volunteers Thai abroad every year. And we host around 150 national volunteers in our project. So we also would like to get a youth more involved with our association. So we have VSA member club where they can become a member. They get the news, what's going to be happen, what is the project coming up, or they can get our scholarship to do volunteer abroad. So the first IVS tools as a non-formal education tool that we use in our project, I would like to share with you is called International Work Camp. So International Work Camp is the project that we host volunteers from around the world, living, working together in the local community for 2 weeks. So this is an example of our project, Somdet Ya Camp. This camp is in the north of Thailand. We organize with the Somdet Ya school. This school is for the hill tribe students. The students who live on the mountain. They live very far from the town, so it's hard for them to get education. So this school is provide them a free education, free accommodation, and free food. So every year we organize this project with them. Another project is called Peace Village, where we host volunteers in the south of Thailand in the small village. So in this village, the mission of the volunteer is about education. So they go to the primary school in the village, and also about renovation. We do small renovate in our local learning center, and volunteer also helping local farmer on non-chemical agriculture. So this project is called Peace Village. It's a mixed project. And this is another Peace Village project, volunteer living and working to support a local farmer in organic farming. It's called Farm Stay. We have education project also in the northeast of Thailand. We call education for disadvantaged children. So the children in this school, most of them are from the poor family, or they have no parent, they orphan. So the school also provide them a free education, free food, and accommodation. We also working on the cultural. Every year we host Songkran Festival camp. So the volunteers stay in the local farm stay and also working in non-chemical organic garden. We also have a camp about intercultural and language camp that we use a non-formal education tools for the student to learn intercultural and language. This camp we organized for the school in the remote area around Thailand. This is another Peace Village project. We have two Peace Village projects, one in the south of Thailand and one in northeast of Thailand. The second non-formal tool for IVS I would like to present is called bilateral camp or group work camp, where we host a group of volunteers. For example, a student from Indonesia, a group of university students from Japan, a group of Cardiff University from UK, a group of English-speaking country called Latitude, or a group of staff from the big company like Samsung. So the upper is the Indonesian student in our Peace Village project in the south and in northeast of Thailand. We also have a camp for education for advantaged children. The upper picture is our project for the entrepreneur, for the tribe women. The tribe women, they also living on the mountain. So we cooperated project with the Samsung company from Korea. It's called Hackathon. So we train them about how to use the app to sell their product, to sell their local product. So after the training, they also get the laptop back home and they could use it for their work. Yes. Another non-formal tool that we use in our project called MLTV. MLTV is standing for Middle Long-Term Volunteer. So where we host volunteer from 1 month up to 1 year. So the project can be continued. Our international work camp can be continued. We also have an intern project where we host a university student, not only Thai, but could be international volunteers, so they can learn with us about the project management. We also have a special project. Every month, we organize on-arrival training for new volunteer. So we organize buddy program with the university student and organize clean up the beach once a month. We also have project with Erasmus Plus, supported by European Union, like the project that bring us together here called Art of Social Innovators. So I'm happy to be here in Nepal with everyone. So that is International Voluntary Service or IVS as a non-formal education tools that we use in our project. So if you would like to know more how to organize international work camp, how to organize middle long-term volunteer, how to organize bilateral or group work camp, you can go to our website or Facebook page or Instagram to get more information about that. So thank you for listening. I hope that I will see you soon in our IVS project in Thailand or around the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tum. While indeed you were presenting basically non-formal educations used in VSA, many of them had very clear links to our topics, circular economy and social entrepreneurship. The hackathon, I don't know, how many of you know what a hackathon is? Okay, we saw one group leader, who knows? And a little bit. Well, if you are interested in entrepreneurship business and also in the IT, ICT community, now they're one of the most used methodologies to create and generate ideas. It's basically people are meeting and they have some challenges, and in different teams, they solve those challenges. It can be creation of a product that serves a community. It can be an app that might be useful for the school. But hackathon is something that is very modern, hip, but also very effective because it brings people together. So that's a highlight also from your presentation. And also, they were cleaning up the beach in Thailand, right? In one of the examples. What do you think can happen with all the materials that are cleaned from the beach? What could be done if you're an entrepreneur? Shout it out. What can you do with the garbage? Music, one option. You can do flip-flops, and you know because you've been there. But indeed, it's one of the examples that you will also find on the Art of Social Innovators website, a social enterprise that creates flip-flops. And if you go to the website after our open seminar, it's actually one of the examples we invite you to look. So thank you very much, Tum. And now we are going to Italy. How was it hello in Italian? Ciao. Ciao. So ciao, Susanna. The floor is yours, and we're looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Andrea. I'll start to share. Hello everyone, I'm Susanna, and today I will present you the experience of the Circular Economy Forum held in Milano in 2022. So what I would like to say first is that, yes, we Italians, you know how we are, no? We like to do projects, we have many ideas, but sometimes the sustainability part is missing, is not there. We don't focus on the sustainability side. And therefore, this Circular Economy Forum aimed really to, let's say, inspire those who come up with new ideas, new projects to have and take the circular economic approach in their projects. So I'm Susanna, I'm a speaker in the seminar Art of Social Innovators held here in Lalitpur in Nepal. And I will present you the Circular Economy Forum that was held in Milano. And Milano, since it was held in Milano, since Milano is the, let's say, Italian economic capital, where a lot of corporate startups, research bodies, and institutional actors gathered, all focusing in carrying out and supporting projects on circular economy. This forum was organized by Tondo Lab. Tondo is a word that in Italian means circle. And this Tondo Lab is an NGO that focuses on creating one bridge between realities that want to really create circular and innovative economic projects and giving them the methods to develop their project in a circular economic way. The participants and the speaker in this conference were many and were important, I would say. There are many municipalities, there is especially the municipality of Milano, there are different universities, not Italian, and not also many firms and corporates that really have the intention of further developing projects with a circular economic approach. The aims of this forum and this conference were to present a vision of macro trends on circular economy, their possible evolutionary paths, and the main project concerning the circular economy, both on national and international level. However, the main purpose of the event was to stimulate the birth and the development of innovative and entrepreneurial activities that could have a positive impact on the local and national economic system. The conference focused on 5 main topics that basically are very important, especially for the Italian point of view. First, we start with the agri-food context and topic that gave insight on new farming practices, new forms of cultivation, sustainable ways to food preservation, and etc. The second and more important, let's say, topic was the textiles and fashion topic that gave insight on existing circular and sustainable materials and practices in the textile industries. Then there was the third topic is cities. Then we have materials and technologies, where the speakers tried to give their insight and their approach in solving problems related to sustainability and in general the approach of circular economy. Now I will present you one experience that was presented in the conference about one very important area for Italian economy, which is textile and fashion. This is the experience of Blue of a Kind, which is a fashion design studio with a great focus on sustainability via a circular economy approach. Let's say Fabrizio Consoli, who is the CEO and the founder of Blue of a Kind, defined the leitmotif of the development of this startup as with this sentence: nulla si crea, nulla si distrugge, tutto si trasforma. The literal translation is written under, if you can read it: nothing is created, nothing is destroyed, everything is transformed. With this sentence, Fabrizio Consoli wants to embody the main principle that inspires his action in bringing on the action of Blue of a Kind, which is not simple recycling, but upcycling. Upcycling and recycling are two concepts that can quite overlap, however, have different outcomes. On one side, recycling takes one, let's say, object and downgrades its intrinsic values by creating something that, let's say, is less valuable. On the other side, we have upcycling, where you take one piece of clothing, one garment, one piece of plastic, whatever, and you create something that is more valuable intrinsically, let's say. For example, if I take this dress, one day I get tired of wearing it, and from the recycling point of view, I can take it and I can use it to clean the window. On the other side, on the upcycling point of view, I take this garment, I take this dress, and I make one purse. I make something that is different, that is that has the same value or is even more valuable. And this is the point of view and the approach of Blue of a Kind. Blue of a Kind focuses on production unicity. They have a 0-kilometer approach by which Blue of a Kind garments are recrafted a bunch of kilometers from Milan. Their production process, in fact, is, let's say, exactly from the name of the brand, is one of a kind, is very special because they use, instead of specifically made fabric, their raw materials are high quality vintage garments or also leftover fabrics, second, let's say, second choice, not perfect, like that could go to other kind of brands. So they source them in Italy or France. They gather them in their plants, where they are completely taken apart, and each piece is completely refitted and then sewed back together on a basis of a new contemporary and beautiful style. Everything is done by local tailors and artisans, and everything is reused. reuse, thanks also to the many partnerships that that Blue of a Kind has in the local area with association, foundation, and realities that manage and bring on the social entrepreneurship projects. There are many realities, and you can see them under. There is Fashion for Good, Città dell'Arte, Fashion Best, PITA, and the jeans redesign. The approach of Blue of a Kind is very complex and articulate. However, they always try in every step of the production and also after production to guarantee circularity. How do they manage to do this? One very interesting approach they have is to guarantee lifelong free garment repair. If I buy one piece of garment, one piece of denim that, I don't know, the bottom gets turned up, I can go back to their shop and they will repair it for free. And so I don't have, let's say, to throw away the garment or to throw away it and, let's say, to generate other waste. The second approach they have, another nice idea they had is the design in a circular way of the complementary parts of the garments, the buttons, the thread, and etc. The CEO of Blue of a Kind is very positive about their, let's say, their brand. However, is also he understands that there are limits to circular economy, and especially in fashion circular economy, because yes, there could be a repurpose, there could be a reusage of a garment and etc. But there still is an objective temporal limit to how much a garment can be worn. Denim, especially, which is what Blue of a Kind treats, is made of cotton, a natural fiber that can be worn out, and you cannot use it forever. At the same time, upcycling cannot be a solution. 99% of the clothes we wear does not come from a virtuous cycle of circular economy. A very big challenge for circular economy, especially in the fashion area, is the, let's say, is the problem of the fast fashion, which generates a huge amount of offer for how much we can buy and we can bring back in the market. To wrap it up, let's say this conference had the aims of giving an insight on some Italian strategic sector, such as the agri-food or the textile sectors, and it should have, and it did indeed, bring light to what circular economy is, especially in a moment when the global index of circularity lowered to 8.6%. This is a problem, guys. This is a problem, and is a problem if we also see this on the more, let's say, regulatory side. Because in Italy, especially, I don't know, maybe we will talk about that in the next days on, yeah. There are very strict waste regulation that somehow do not manage circular innovation. And this is something that this conference brought under light and for sure sensibilized about. Thank you, guys. This was my presentation about the experience of the Circular Economy Forum held in Milano in 2022. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Susanna. And of course, I actually have a question inspired by your presentation and an exercise. Think about what you're wearing, yeah? Think about what you're wearing on you and try to think which is the oldest element that you have, yeah? How many years ago did you buy this piece of garment? What is the oldest thing that you have? Project t-shirt?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, we have 3 years. Anybody longer?
10 years.
10 years. Okay, okay. Anybody longer?
10 years.
Jacket 5 years, okay. The junior still on top.
What is the new word too?
Hmm?
What is the new word too?
And yes, what is the newest? Anything that you bought now or got now? Project t-shirt again. For some is the oldest and for some is the newest. But you see, 10 years. I actually have sandals that I bought, I think, 12 or 13 years ago.
Very nice.
Very nice. You can see them, everybody in the conference. These sandals actually traveled to Gambia. They were bought in Greece and yeah, in quite many countries. So yes, and it is about keeping stuff, but also being aware of the stuff that we're wearing, which one comes from these recycled materials. So very nice. And Susanna, can you tell us also what do you do in everyday life and how much circular economy, social entrepreneurship applies to what you're doing in everyday life?
So at home, can you hear me?
So at home, I'm a student. Let's say I try to do several things. You never stay still, no? I'm also a local counselor, so I'm involved in my municipality life, and I really dealt a lot with this circular economy approach. And for example, we did some projects about reuse platform in which everyone can bring a physical place where everyone can bring their stuff, their old stuff, or maybe stuff that they don't use it anymore. And there other people come, maybe they're interested and they take them. I think it's a very good approach, very good idea and project that could be implemented also in other realities in order to lessen their waste.
Thank you very much. I asked obviously because I knew what Susanna is doing, and she shared some examples also with us, but also because when you think about social entrepreneurship, you can think, okay, I'm making an own business or a project. But you can also think about entrepreneurship if you're a policymaker or decision maker or work with the city council. So this concept applies, and no matter what we will do when we grow up, some of us perhaps never will grow up, we can be innovators, we can be entrepreneurs, and of course we can always have an eye on circularity. So we are traveling again. And from Italy, we go back to Thailand. We don't have many more examples, so I hope, can you bear with us a few more minutes? We will end up with a very exciting presentation, so of course. So we go back to Thailand. And Born, I invite you to share with us the experience and the methods that you are using.
Okay, Sawadee krab. Hello everybody, my name is Adinan Jehsu. I'm a teacher. Today I would like to talk about development of learning model in addition to basic education core curriculum for Thai students using skill enhancement activity to 21st century learner. And my name of school, PU Vithayanusara School at Hajai City, Southern Thailand. And show location of my school. Yes, this video show the school from the entrance to inside the school, include the building and environment. Okay, first off, I will tell all of you, Thailand National Education Act of 1999. The first must provide people with equal right and opportunity to receive education. Second, must be based on in principle that all learners have the ability to learn and then develop themselves, and consider the learner to the most important. Third, must encourage learners to develop naturally and to their full potential. Fourth, National Education Act lead to Thailand government policy, reduce study times, increase learning time, and competency-based education. Therefore, our school has created PSU with WCL model. PSU with is the name of school, and WCL stand for world-class learner. This model requires students to be a good and happy persons, leadership and specialists, intelligent use of digital and IT. Good ranking consists with Thai, English, and Chinese. Artificial intelligence, youth and create innovation, financial planning and health. All of these are competencies that are designed for students. Seven strengths of innovations are: one, there are very activity more than 100 courses for learners to choose according to the skill of the 21st century. Two, learners can freely choose to participate in activity according to their interests. Three, skill enhancement activity are short activity about 5 to 8 hours. Four, active learning activity and hand-on practice. Six, there are 4 levels of assessment system for learners: excellence, good, pass, and fail. 7, receive the certificate for passing an activity course. 8, reduce paper use because from the activity registration to the assessment of activity using the online system. And example of interesting course such as electronic skill. This course for teach students is choosing and using electronic device. Students receive 2 skills are leader and specialist, and use and create innovation. This course freestyle martial arts. This is the important course because nowadays there are more new physical events. If students have knowledge and skill in self-defense, will make it more secure and more health. And this called 3D game creation. This called to practice thinking, planning, analyzing, designing, and practical skill. And for this course, typing lessons in addition to oral communication. Another important aspect of communication is typing. And skin printing, traditionally called silk skin printing. This course, the student can practice design and skinning skill. Course Thai xylophones in Thai ranked called Lanat. That represent Thainess and the way of life of Thai people. As well with playing music, it will make you mindful of joy and happy. Students receive competency, good, happy, and smart. Besides Thai music, there are also international music courses such as orchestra course for students to register. And another skill that is in trend right now is very financial investment for stock trading, cost to teach students to make decision for trading. And financial planning, discuss, study, and understanding different types of investment and make their own financial plan appropriation. And technique for drawing Thai pattern. For this course, this is the creation of Thai art called line Thai for simple line. And health massage. This is another course that promotes health and restoring health with method of pressing, rolling, squeezing, holding, and bending to relax the muscle of the body.
Well, we want a practical session on this.
And this is a course that encourages students to have skill in winding electricity and use tools for welding. Students receive leadership and specialists use and create innovation. Yes. For this course, the student will learn the principle and technique for making Thai dishes. And the last example, sorry. And the last example, this course introduce the use of basic artificial intelligence technique. Conclusion. In this research sample is student of PSU Vidyasarn School in grade 7 and 10, consisting of 483 people, which is the selection of non-probability sampling units. That is using haphazard sampling. The research found that the assessments results are good and excellent, more than 90%. Assessment of learner satisfaction with teaching and skill obtained from skill enhancement activity that were allowed at very good base level with an average rating of 4.44 point out of 5 point. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You can, yeah, stop sharing. And indeed, your presentation brought to mind something that we deal with a lot now: future skills. So we say our world is changing, new jobs, new technologies. We're so innovative in everything that we're doing, but do we get innovative skills? So looking at your presentation, it's very interesting because, you know, massage and well-being is something that, for example, in Romania, many people say we do not have well-being. We barely have a minimum health education in our school, how to wash our hands. The same way, investing. Everybody complains, I don't have money, I don't know how to invest, I don't know how to manage my own money. But how many studied in your schools financial education, managing and administering your own money? How many of you? I don't see any hand up. So it is very innovative what you are saying, and perhaps as educators, we can put in our programs also the stuff that doesn't necessarily happen in schools. And actually a bit in Erasmus and through the Youth Pass, they are trying also to cover these skills that are innovative, entrepreneurial, future, managing budgets. It's my turn now, and I will try to be quick and share with you the experience of reflow. I told you that I'm also working in an ICT cluster. So basically a collection of companies that also work with local authorities. And this SPIRE is one of the projects that currently I'm involved in Cluj and in Baia Mare. So the project is also funded by the European Union, and it has partners, the municipality of Baia Mare, it has companies, it has research institutes, universities and associations. But how many of you know where Baia Mare is? Of course, the Romanian, yeah. But at least it's in Romania. Where do you think? North, south, east, west? North, yes, very good, yes. So it's in the north, and formerly it was a mining town. So there was a lot of mining there. The mines were closing, and do you know what is the problem in mining cities? Ecosystem is destroyed, and depending on what is being mined, but in the vast majority is the problem of heavy metal pollution, because the mined materials often are treated with very bad chemicals. So it's the same situation for Baia Mare, and now the municipality is very proud because it's one of the first European, Eastern European cities that tries to take away the bad chemicals from the soil using plants. The process is called phytoremediation. So it's basically remediating, taking out the heavy metal pollution from the soil using plants. I will go a little bit over, you know, the objectives and what it tries to do, but basically the biggest problem is to take away the pollution using plants. But also another challenge is to actually get involved the community in doing so. So there are these lands that it's 5 lands and several hectares. They were identified. They were around the former factories, and on each, what did they do? They cleaned it up. They planted certain species. When the plants are growing, they're expected to take away the metals, but also treat them in such a way that the metals will not be in the plants. It's not over here. When the plants grow, they are harvested, and the plant material is being used by entrepreneurs in different ways. One of the ways is actually making out of that plant material the material that goes into 3D printers. Yeah. And it was a competition, entrepreneurship. Many people said, okay, what we can do. And one of the things was, let's make these things for 3D printers. So this is the big story of the project. Technology is also being used. They're using drones and other equipment to monitor how the plants are growing and how much the decontamination is used. It was done in participatory way with people, with students, with urbanists, with architects. So because those lands now, they're not really used, and the idea is that they will become parks. We had the plantathlon, and this is, by the way, it's an idea that you could have done or you can do as a local activity, a plantathlon, calling people to plant. And in this way also educate about how to make gardens and so on. And here low, it's the Christmas tree collection, where for Christmas, still many people in Romania, they have natural Christmas trees. 1 month later, what happens? They're being thrown away. Here they were collecting and being made into very small pieces, spaced, and used again further. A place in the center, but this is the last example that I wanted to use to show you from this project. It's Aileu. I don't know if in the cultural show or those of you who have been in Romania, what is our currency? It's leu, means lion. Here in the project, they created Aileu. It's basically a virtual tool. And how it works, you have an app, you download it, and then this app looks if you are going, for example, on foot, not by car or using any polluting system. If you're going on foot to work, every time you go on foot to work or to the store, you get this Aileu, this into your app. And with it, you can either go to the hub and make your own 3D stuff, use for free the 3D printer. You have vouchers for local businesses. And in the long term, hopefully, you will get to pay your taxes. The taxes was actually the main idea, but because of the bureaucracy system, and it will not be in 3 years solved, but it's still one of the aims. Okay, so this is Aileu, this is SPIRE. In the mentorship program, I told you that the young people in an entrepreneurship educational project, they had the chance to bid and to make a competition. What can you do with the material from plants? And these were some of the guys. Hemptacular was one who was saying that, you know, hemp? Yeah. Is that plant that also we could see outside? You can make clothes, you can do many different things with it. It's very good insulation for buildings. So they put this hemp into bricks and created hempcrete instead of concrete. These things that you see outside, the pillars are made, hempcrete. So this was one idea, and the other idea, and I think it was also the winning, is bio-leaching. In mining, they use very bad chemicals to treat it. This girl, she's from Slovakia actually, was bringing bacteria who do exactly the same thing. So she found a solution actually to treat, but only using good bacteria. All right, I can tell you more and more, but we can talk about this also outside. The SPIRE project I wanted to share because it's inspiring. It's inspiring to think that plants actually can do something. Normally humans have this, oh, you know, we need to save the world. We are very small. The world is big. The world is powerful. Yeah, we need to be also, I think, respectful of the world, and very few of us individually can save the world, but probably together with initiatives, we can do something like this. Okay, this is the project that I wanted to share with you, and with this, I'm not gonna, you know, make my own conclusions and respond to my intervention, but pass the floor to what and to whom we promised it will be a very dynamic presentation. So from Baia, Mare, from Romania, we go all the way to South Korea. Yeah, and June is our final speaker from this side. Then we'll have conclusions, but June, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Andrea. 안녕하세요. The very short version is 안녕. 안녕. Oh, thank you. Oh, there's rainy. Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay, I'm June from South Korea. Today I'm talking about the life, the culture of rural communities. So it started as personal, but it's builds up bigger. So this is not theory. This is not class. So just relax and enjoy it, because just my story and little my family story also. And okay, I'm a farmer and a community designer and a cappella singer. You know that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, another job is drawing artist. Yeah, today is a presentation. All the things I'm drawing. Me and my students and my community religion. So, do you know BTS? Yeah. And how's about another thing about Korea? Is there anything else? The movie? Drama? Oh, okay. Nowadays the kimchi, yeah, yesterday really good. And yeah, the speech game also, and yeah, Parasite. This is Seoul. There's so many high buildings. There's so many splendid things. I love it because I was born in Seoul actually, and also the Busan is very big city, and there's a delicious food. Busan is near the harbor, and there's so many fishes and so many delicious things. But how's about rural area in Korea? Actually, I moved to Gangwon province in Inje, is near DMZ area. Do you know DMZ? Anybody? Demilitarized zone. And you know, the North Korea, you know, and South Korea also. Actually, my father and my grandfather is, honestly speaking, is North Korean. And during Korean War, 1950, is moved to South Korea. So, but as my grandfather stayed, so our family is separated. For me, it's a reunification in South Korea and North Korea as a family story. I hope, but next generation, younger generation, don't mention it, so do not care. Anyway, DMZ area, there's just so many rural area, rural side, but you know that young person do not want to live anymore because go to outside Seoul, Busan. Why? Why? Yeah, there's a convenience store, department store, and theater, and so many buildings, cultures, and BTS also. Yeah, not rural area. So this is a big problem, really big problem. I think 10 years, even 10 years later, my small village, I don't know, I'm not sure, but over 80, 70 old guys remained. And what happened? So we think about how can we solve this problem? So for me, I think about me and listen to my inner voice. Why I love the rural area? My major is electrical engineering, and I was belong to the laboratory, the fingerprinting, programming, but there's I want to go to nature side. So after that, my moving, and then my job is a cappella singer and the community designer and world traveler. Yeah, I love the traveling and farming also, and the couches of host, surfing host, guest house host. So anyone who want to come to Korea, please chatting me. Yeah, maybe free or not. Yes. So I think about the rural area. My idea is there's just so many things in rural area: ecological cycle and life and history and so many things. For example, there's a festival in rural area. I love funny things. So next time I will show the picture. Anyway, entertainment and restaurant. There's a healthy and delicious food in the rural area. And last thing is just like me, drawing and singing, art. Yeah, all the things in rural area. So this is the, I think is related social entrepreneurship and circular economy and non-formal education also. So let's do it. Okay, rural area. It's my plants, my crops. We call 산마늘. They're the very, very delicious. 산마늘 means in the mountain garlic, but it's not garlic actually, because the leaf, the smells garlic. Yeah, so no need garlic with pork and then eating. In Korea, you know, the wrapping culture in just like tortilla, right? Yeah, yeah. So this is very, very delicious. So near the students in my school, as after school, we come together and harvesting, growing, and playing in that in the middle of that green one. And this is our birch forest. Fantastic, really fantastic. So in the forest, you can listen the sound of nature. Have you ever been seeing the only sound of nature to think about? Every car sound, every chattering, every animals, only nature. For example, wind, and it's a bug walking, and it's a rainy sound. So there's a really, really impressive thing is we walking in the forest and stop and listen the sound and remember, and then we mimic the sound of nature, just like wind. Shh. How's about tree? How's about bird? Oh, this is nature. Yeah, remarkable. Yeah. So I recorded everything with mouse and then making the song of nature. And after that, students love that. After this program and activities, realize that human nature is connected to nature, and human is not only the best creature. So we think about the how can we solve problem in rural area. So we go on, and I'm drawing every phase to drawing in my village and with my students, and then making a story and fairy tale related to my village. 50 years ago, we cannot go, there's no convenience store. So we're walking for 3 days or 4 days for market. And then waiting children, son and daughter, waiting their father and mother. And that sunset picture, sunset drawing is the waiting for their parents, because their hands, fish, meat, so many delicious things. And next thing is the eco-friendly dyeing clothes and costumes. So many villagers come together, and the first step is growing the crops, and then harvest and dried and making the color ones. For example, chiza is yellow and chok is blue, red one and black one. So this is non-toxic, non-chemical, And this is a very, very healthy for ours. So last one is fantastic. Is a torike. Torike is a harvest tool. There's a big stick and small stick. The small stick is round, and we can hit the sesame or beans in autumn. So we can separate the grain to stalks. So there's a sound. So, and beatboxers just like me and come together. And then 바람이 분다, 바람이 분다, 연평 앞바다에 얼싸 좋다, 봄바람 부는다, 얼싸 좋네, 아 좋네, 금밤이야, 에헤라 생일밤이로구나. What? You know, this is a concert of nature. Yeah, this is concert and festival. So we made a festival just like this. Every is traditional tools and then hit. And then, oh, just like this. Even the small girls hitting and making sticky rice cake. Oh, this is me. Traditional costume in Korea. And there's but is I'm so feel sad because pandemic area. We can open the festival for 2 years. Anyway, next year I want to invite all of you, and then we dancing and eating together. I hope. So this is my story, and this is activities in small community. But is after that, I realized that I didn't know that actually, honestly speaking, but is after that, this is a social entrepreneurship. And this is a circular economy. And this is a non-formal education. So natural. So I realized that our life is the very happy and valuable thing. So the concept in my community is happy life and valuable life in rural area. So I hope you also, your country, your mountain area, your seaside area, so please be happy and valuable. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inspiring us once again, because we were inspired so many times. And just before we will show you the resources that we produced, and just before we conclude, we would like to share the video created by Sae Yan. She couldn't be here, but worked very hard on this video. And her intervention is a reflection actually of how she came here, and also what she sees as future possibilities. I will share the video that she filmed, and I hope we all enjoy.
Hello everyone, I'm Sae Yan, and I'll be presenting the way forward. I'll briefly be sharing the key takeaways I learned and the ideas that I would love to develop further, even after the art of social innovators. To begin with, I'd like to introduce myself as an urbanist studying food issues in the city. I have a background in international development cooperation, and I've worked in the field of food and agriculture. Understanding the concepts of social entrepreneurship, circular economy, and non-formal education has given me a new perspective on approaching the urban food issues. I hope sharing my story could motivate you to try to link your ideas with concepts we've learned and to raise awareness on the importance of food and agriculture, which many of us young people are missing out on. During the past few days in Nepal, we've been eating delicious Nepali food. It's such a wonderful experience to be exposed to different flavors and textures and cultures. At the same time, I noticed that many of us do struggle to stick to the diet that we are not used to eating for a series of days. I did notice some of us having snacks from back home. In this regard, the movie Minari also shows a similar challenge that a Korean American family struggled to settle down in the US. And this story unfolds as they try to cultivate Minari as they build a new home and relationship with the place. Minari is a Korean herb vegetable that's used in many of our foods, representing our identity in the film. As such, food has so many aspects to it, from a human rights perspective, nutrition and health, business, and so on. And food is circular by its nature, coming from and going back to its nature, and brings a sense of place and belonging to our lives. As the International Organization of Migration once stated, food can lie at the heart of integration experience and be a catalyst for cultural fusion. During our program, we definitely used food as a friendly tool to share our culture and get to know each other better. Now, with this in mind, I'd like to share an issue that's caught my attention for the last few years, which is that there will be increasing number of a population residing in cities. It's projected that 70% of us will be living in cities by 2050. This brings about many challenges. Cities must be prepared to be resilient and to accommodate much diverse people in its space. The flux of migration could be from conflict, could be from environmental issues, or economic development, or so much more. In this regard, experts have pointed out that the need to integrate and consider food into urban planning. I believe this is a big challenge, but it'll bring many opportunities for us to play a role. This is where also the importance of non-formal education plays its role. We don't get to learn much about food, identity, sense of place, not so much in schools. But already, during the few days of this program, we were able to connect with each other so much through food. I believe, and more researchers are pointing out that the cultural aspect of food should be added when regarding food security policies, and not just production, accessibility, and affordability. Studies show that migrants lose their health even after moving to find better places to settle, and this is partly that they do not have culturally appropriate food around them. Moving forward, I'd like to develop more skills in partnership with diverse groups, governmental agencies, international or non-governmental organizations, private sector and academic institutions to teach students from a young age about the function of food in our society, giving them the opportunity to express their uniqueness and accept our differences. I will continue to work on urban food issues and linking this to contribute to creating inclusive cities of diversity where our differences are shared and appreciated. For your information, there are some more interesting information on cities and circular economy for food on the Ellen MacArthur Foundation page. And I've added the link below. And for more information on the art of social innovators, please check out the website and the YOUnnovate ebook through this link. I hope to engage with you further and hear your ideas on how you linked your career or ideas to social entrepreneurship, circular economy, and non-formal education. Thank you so much for your attention. 감사합니다.
And I unmuted so she can hear our applause. And as you see there, Sae Yan sent us a heart. You can see it in the chat, and there are reactions. Thank you very much for everything that you have shared. Dear panelists, dear participants, we had also the UNESCO team from Nepal joining us online, and they were just sharing that they appreciated hearing about the different contributions. We had a number of guests who perhaps came in and out, connectivity issues, but we would like to say that the recording of this event and also other materials will be posted also on social media, and of course the link will be also provided on our website and our web portal, which is let's see, artofsocialinnovators. Okay, let's try again. The artofsocialinnovators.eu. And I will actually take the opportunity, and Sae Yan's presentation ended quite nicely on an invitation to look through the resources. One of the resources is here. You have it, those who are here in the room. You have it in your hands, and it's the ebook. For those who are joining online, I will show the version that exists online. It's on Jehsu, so we can go through it. Basically, YOUnnovate is a handbook for you, those who are facilitators, those who are youth workers, and they want to put in this puzzle of circular economy, social entrepreneurship, and non-formal education. Of course, we would like to say thank you to all who contributed. Actually, everybody who was part of this project in a way or another was a co-author to this booklet and to the ebook. So thank you all to all the partners, and I take the opportunity to give you a hand also here. Young Europe Society, Volunteering Spirit Association, Ingens Risus, MV International, Better World, South Korea, and from South Korea, and ION. Thank you. When you're eating a good meal, you know, we said that this conference, this seminar is full of spirit. So when your heart beats fast, sometimes your blood is put in motion. We hope our colleague is fine. And if you need to go with him to make sure he is fine, please, please do. So when eating a good meal, you say poftă bună or savurați in Romanian. How would you say in Italian? Buon appetito. Buon appetito. Godetevi, enjoy, yeah? How would you say it in Korean?
잘 먹겠습니다.
Okay. In Thai?
I enjoy your food.
Okay. Say again. Plum, plum. Okay. And in Nepali?
In Nepali, it's a bit complicated, but the saying goes "bistari hanas," which means it is fruity or savory. So bistari hanas.
Bistari hanas. Well, you'll see here some words that were found. You see how appropriate or not they were, but basically we are hoping that you are going to enjoy. And what are you going to enjoy in this ebook? Key concepts, so the theory, but put in context. You will see the definitions, but you'll also see some perspectives on the realities of the different countries. Section 2 is perhaps the most juicy, and it is comprised of non-formal education methods And section 3, it's a guide that you can use as a youth educator. It is very hard to keep a straight face looking at you, but this is a skill you have to learn in Erasmus projects. We will let you look through this, but for example, we are really encouraging you to look at the section that looks at tools for circular economy particularly. And you see a circularity circle there that is a tool that actually, it was kind of created and invented in Thailand while we're having the workshop. So go through it. You will also see, for example, resources such as Ashoka. Ashoka is one of the most important networks of social entrepreneurs in the world. It has chapters around the world, and you can become also members. Here, as you see, are the different definitions and the perspectives from different countries. Here is the section where we have the educational methods, and the methods are, for example, icebreakers adapted for circular economy. You find here some examples, and you have everything that you need as a facilitator: learning objectives, the description of the method, and other details or resources, perhaps to explore further or adapt that method. Many others. But after you explore the methods, you will find that section that shows you the toolkit for facilitators. So it's a trainer's kit. You're invited to make a facilitator selfie. If you're a facilitator, take a selfie and think, what are the values and the skills and the knowledge that you have? But also, what is your secret ingredient as a facilitator? Sandra, what is your secret ingredient as a facilitator?
I don't know, I think my charisma and my way of dealing with things, because I was also an actress and I know how to deal with things on stage. So I always improvise when I have something to say.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Then give her a big hand. You have to improvise a lot every single day when we are doing youth work. Also, you have here the geography of your training experience, reflecting what was easy, what was hard, what was a high or what was a low for you as a trainer. And you're invited in the toolkit to write it down and to reflect on your own experience. And last but not least, you have workshop plans. So basically the template that you can fill in whenever you're planning a workshop with learning objectives, titles, methods that you will use. We put, of course, our result from the project, the methods that we use, the program that we had in Thailand, which is the format training course. And at the end, after this beautiful picture, you will find further horizons, resources. Here you can see the training course video that we also watched. You can access the website, artofsocialinnovators.eu. We invite you to do so. And on that website, you can see other products like methods with videos. So we have here description in writing, but on the website, we have videos that were produced in all of our countries and that explain the different methods. These are some of the results. Of course, there are more results, and the most important results are the things that are taken in by everybody who took part in this project. With this, I would like to thank you for being here, for listening, for participating. And let's all give a big hand to each and every one of us. It has been quite a long session. We would like to thank also our audience online. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. And you'll have a chance also to ask more questions and interact once all of this will be online. Thank you. I think we can stop the online Zoom.